Oh man. Hello everyone. How y'all doing? I know, shocker, right? Oh, he looks so different. He's so funny with your jokes. Everybody's so funny with the jokes. Anyway, welcome to another episode. Oh
Welcome,
man.
everyone. Welcome, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're holding it down in Atlanta.
Yeah. How's the weather over there? It's kind of dark and gloomy over here. I'm sure it's probably the same, right?
Same.
Yeah.
Overcast. Overcast. Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
been like that for several days now.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, product influence. Product
Yeah,
influence. What a lot of people go through. FOMO and
absolutely.
all that good stuff.
Yeah. Yes. We're the biggest consumers um, in the African American community. So this is definitely a topic that needs to be discussed because hey, we invest a lot of money in other people's pockets, invest products and services. So
Yeah, like the stuff on
th-
Instagram, like I was telling you, about what four episodes back,
that's
buying
right.
stuff
That's
off of
right.
Instagram.
So yeah, and the thing about it, I just don't think it, that people realize they're being targeted
Mm-hmm.
to buy their products, um, and it's constantly. It's a because we will spend money we don't have sometimes, but we will spend.
Yeah, I
Got
mean
to have the
product.
latest and greatest. We got to have everything. So
I mean that product placement. That's why they ask you, "Hey, do we have permission to basically sell your information so we can sell you on this stuff later?" And that's basically it. But I mean, I guess the starting off is like, as for me, I buy for my products at least when I go to buy stuff, it's out of necessity. I don't buy anything out of like, oh, I need it, I gotta have it. Um, don't get me wrong, there's an occasional here or there one off, like you 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 get it because you want it at that time, but majority of the stuff that I get for myself is out of necessity. I mean, the obvious stuff like food, um, food, water.
that ranks way up there. That's right.
Yeah,
Right. Shelter. You know.
exactly. So it's not so much like car. I mean, everybody has a car that they want to drive at some point or get at some point, like their dream car. You can't tell me that no one has a dream car that they think
But
about.
some people make that a necessity.
Yeah, but
It just how you weight things. So um, that and you know I do it out same as you out of necessity for the most part, but I do things um, for other reasons as well. Some people do it because of fear or something. They think that they got to have it, or the world is going to end, or things go. Their body's going to fall apart. You know, or or their hair is going to come out if they don't have it. So it's some fear there on certain products and services. So, uh, but I really don't shop in that realm. I usually think about it, research it a little bit, and mainly I'm in that necessity or just a want.
yeah. But I mean, I
Yeah.
do understand depending the bit on the business you're in. Like for instance, the business we're in, um, some things will become more of a necessity that other people will see as
Right.
a want, like cameras, and if you're
Correct.
trying to be on top of the newest technology, if you're doing technological reviews, anybody in this space that's doing stuff like reviews or podcasts, they usually are on the tip top as far as products getting, if not that same year, the next year.
Yeah,
um
they're working towards it.
that too,
they,
that
they're
too.
getting there. They're getting
Yeah,
there.
that
So,
too. So and a lot of people will see that as like, oh, I don't need it or whatnot. So it just depends on the really just depends on the realm you're in. But for a lot of especially the YouTube space, I know a lot of other creators that are pretty much like every other year they're upgrading their stuff or finding new equipment that helps them, sound better and present better and stuff like that. So that is also a factor you got to take into as far as the product influence. And of course, we as the two people on YouTube, we can potentially be product influencers as well at some point down the
That's
road.
correct.
So, the people that you may enjoy watching can also be product influencers. Like I see a lot of stuff, for instance, some of the channels I watch, I see a lot of stuff for Manscaped. I'm sure you know what that is.
Yeah,
All the
right,
guys know
right.
what Manscaped is, so I see that pretty much fairly often. Um, and that's just it is. It's the nature of the beast. You got to pay the bills, right?
That's right. That's right. So like we just discussed, necessity, fear, security. So people shop for security reasons. They feel that they need it to help them feel safe or whatever. And you know, it's kind of like follow the leader. They identify with something that somebody else recommends, and which I go on that as well. If somebody said, "Well, man, this," you see something that somebody's doing, and or a product or service that they got, and you appreciate it. You
Mhm.
say, "Where did you get it?" And they say, "Well, I got this guy to do it, and he did an awesome job." And I said, "Well, yeah, he did," or this person did an awesome job. I'll give me his information. I like to get that.
Right.
I like to let that happen. Um, and it in belonging, is another reason why people shop or are encouraged to purchase a product or service.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought of a good one right now. I know since you're from the arcade game, you probably use what, the ball in the cup, a little ball in the cup for your fun, standing outside with the ball in the cup. But
String,
for my generation, it was more so, the video games. When the video games came out, that was a major,
yes.
that started to be a major push, like the Super Nintendo, N64, stuff like that. So that was more of a, I would
Fad,
say it was. So I'm sorry.
a fad.
Yeah, a fad, and a lot of people were fear of missing out. It's like, oh, you see,
Okay.
as a kid, you see the bright colors and everything. It's like, I need it, but you're not working, so you go to the
I can't live without this
exact,
video game.
exactly.
So yeah, and the thing about it, you see it in in public where people get this. And I see a lot more, and correct me if I'm wrong. Comment and set me straight if necessary. That women tend to do that more. The latest purse. In Michael Kors. I remember when Michael Kors first came out, and I saw someone with it, a bag that had MK on it. And I was like, what does that mean? Is
Mhm.
that your edition? And it's like, and with an attitude, this is Michael Kors. I was like, "Oh, okay. Um, doesn't mean anything to me, but
Right.
then I started seeing it around. You see Coach and all this stuff. And these products, I don't see it advertised,
Hmm.
like on TV, but I do see it advertised in the community
I would,
by other people, having it and somebody else, saying this almost have a status
yeah, I would say
type
a big
symbol.
one that you're referring to in our
Mhm.
community is more Gucci. Gucci
Gucci,
and Louis
Gucci.
Vuitton. That's the
That's
one that
right.
you
That's right.
see. It,
Yeah.
if you don't have it,
And
you're looked at like you're a peasant or something. It's
that's
like,
right. And I'm like, what's the cost of those things? I'm like,
right.
it's outrageous. Uh, to each his own, but I don't think it's anything that can influence me in that list that we're just talking about that would entice me to pay that kind of money for a
Oh
bag
yeah,
or,
but
or,
but for
or a belt or a shirt.
but I can tell you who it is targeting. It's targeting my generation because your generation, you're out of the loop. So you guys might not
You
know a
think
whole
so?
lot about it. Yeah. I mean, everybody's like, it's that inclusivity. It's like if you walking around with Gucci or Louis Vuitton or something like that, somebody's gonna be, oh, nice stuff, and they see, you start a conversation. So you're inclusive, a sense of belonging amongst your peers when you're both wearing like the same. I was like, oh, where'd you get that Louis jacket? Oh, I got it such and such. Where'd you get them Louis shoes? Oh, I got it over here, and just it's
But
really.
I'll never have a conversation because
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
not going to purchase that. I'm not going to purchase Louis Vuitton. But the thing is that that's a lot of money that it's on a depreciating asset.
Yep.
It's just like a car, you know. So I know some bags out there that you could buy that you could, if you don't use it, I guess, and
Mm.
you save it and put it up, it can increase in value.
Yeah.
But if you're going to purchase something, make a big purchase like that, I would definitely make it as something that will increase in value in the future.
Right.
Not to put that kind of money that is something that's going to constantly keep going down. Then, or the style's going to change, and then that bag is irrelevant, or that product is irrelevant.
Yeah. And I mean, I think another when you're talking about investing, I mean, people getting like the sports cards and the rookie cards for players and holding on to them, hoping that they end up being like really big stars and stuff like that. I mean, that's I hear you as far as the collectibles, and I think that's a route a lot of people end
They
up
don't think about it. I
like.
don't think they even think about it
Some
when they
do.
purchase.
Some
Some
do.
do. Yeah.
Some do. I mean, people my age, like when Pokemon was a big thing, when the cards came out, like nobody
Those
really thought
cars can be
about,
worth something.
yeah,
That's
nobody really
right.
thought about the value of the cards. But now, 10, 15 years later, you're seeing cards worth
That's
$60,000 and stuff
right.
like that.
That's
So,
right. That's right. That's right. So, but I don't see a bunch of people going out there buying Pokemon cards in the
shoot.
hopes of down the line it's going to be worth something. So, but like you said, you don't know what's going to be the next trend.
Right.
Just like you said, Pokemon. I remember when they came out, I should have had a whole deck of cards of Pokemon cards because I was part of the age when these things came about,
Mm-hmm.
and even at the time, I was able to afford to buy it,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't because it didn't mean anything to me.
Right.
So,
But see, to
but
us, it was on that inclusivity. It's like, oh, you got this card, and it just like,
that's
well, it
right.
was the Pokemon, what was it? What was it? The ones that kids always used to, the Tamagotchis? Was it Tamagotchis? Those
Let's see, I'm not even
the
familiar with that.
little pets that you take care of on the little devices and stuff. Yeah, that was all.
Really?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was all targeted towards my generation for that in that sense of belonging amongst each other. So that way you look like the cool guy in school or whatever, like middle school,
I
high
got
school.
this card,
Yeah,
or stronger than that card. Or yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So as far as I think, as far as the ones that we may have listed, as far as like fear necessity, I would honestly say, in my opinion, security is probably the better one of all of them.
Okay.
Granted, depending on where you live, it might not be necessary, but
Yeah.
as far as security, that's gonna be your best bet because you're going to feel safer. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? So
That's right. That's right.
the security from when I look at all of the things that we listed is probably is a good reason for that product influence. All the other ones are kind of like meh, but I would say if you buy stuff just to belong or identify with, it's more of a bad thing. That means to me, you're not being your own person.
Person, right? You just following a trend. If this
Right.
person's doing it, I'm gonna do it. And then one thing about a trend, it changes.
Right.
But out of that list, I'll do necessity.
Mm.
Necessity. But, you know, certain certain things that people need, and safety, which is the security, food, like you said, food, shelter, water, things like that. You, got to have that. You gotta have that.
Hmm.
I mean, all the other stuff is irrelevant
Right, but
if you don't have that.
I think now that I think about it, that
Mhm.
this when I think about the product influence, it's this food, of course, is a necessity, but it's the stuff that's presented to you in the food might not be necessary. So
That's right.
just to
That's
break
right.
that down a little bit further, so that's why I went with security, because a
Pretty.
lot of times security is gonna protect you in the long haul. Like what's the one the most prominent one I'm seeing now, the CD, is it CD, what was it, CDT or something, like ADT? Which one is it?
ADT, the ADT is the security system, and then you
Yeah,
got other ones out there as well. So
that's the only one
yeah,
that.
yeah, you're right. You're right, especially the way things are today. Home invasions, being um, abducted, just walking down the street. So and
Right,
being shot at in your own home. You could be in the comfort of your own home, bullets coming through the walls and windows. It's things change as time changes. It's,
right.
it's your generation with the Pokemon cards with guns. Oh no! All jokes aside, but absolutely, absolutely, security. I can see your point with the security
Yeah, that's just how I
being
look
being
at,
a major.
because there's no, as far as the, because you're always seeing, for food, for example, you're always going to see something. Oh, this is the healthiest thing for you, blah blah blah. For if you're trying to be on a healthy diet or whatever, and then literally
Right.
2 weeks later, oh no, this is the best healthy thing for you.
Oh yes, yes.
Especially
That
with social
this is
media.
good for you. This is bad for you. Then next day it's good for you. Yeah,
Right.
that which was bad for you before. So, uh, yeah, yeah. Good information that helps as well. Good.
Exactly. I mean, but
So,
people are just a lot of people are just trying to make their money as they can. And I mean,
right.
good for them, but it's up to the person to really look into it. Like,
That's right. That's right.
so
Do
I
your
can't really,
research.
yeah, I can't really blame the person for just trying to get their hustle on, and they may be selling something that's not necessarily
They,
good for
how
somebody else.
many pro players out there promoting stuff that they probably never even tried,
Oh
but
yeah,
they want to, they get paid to do it, so they do it.
right. It just it's just crazy. But I do, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people that actually take the time to look into the product that they're trying to push. Uh, so it just depends. But at the end of the day, it would fall on you to really look into what you're getting into, and if you can actually afford it, and or if it's good for you. Uh,
All right. Now, Tech. Now, how many things do we purchase that we know that's bad for us, but we continue to do it?
I mean, a lot of stuff. I mean, you
A
go,
lot,
if you
a
have like a
lot.
sweet tooth, you end up purchasing, like, you go to the candy aisle, you sitting there, you're sweating because you don't know, you want to get
Which one you
something.
want to get?
Or you go
That's
to
right.
the sodas and stuff, like, the junk food aisles. You sitting there, if you got a sweet tooth, you're like, and you're not supposed to get it, but you're gonna get it because, yeah,
You
you
got
can't show that.
diabetes, and your sugar levels are high, but you have to come to a point where are you willing to invest in something that's going to affect your health in a negative way? When even though it costs more a lot of times to purchase things that's good for your health.
Yes, 100%. Oh, there's
So
there's no a lot of times it's 100%. You try to be healthy, is going to cost you more because you're paying for the
that's,
quality of the food.
that's right. That's right. But you can go to McDonald's and get you a happy well, not a happy meal or whatever. Supersize everything, and you didn't spend that much. Now these days it's gone up, but you're not spend. But none of that's good for you. None of it. But it tastes good. But it's not good for you. And 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 the market is targeting the generation below you, the kids, into this. Not just here, around the world.
Mhm.
And these things are loaded with things that are just not good. Obesity is running rampant, not just here in the US, but across the world now
Mhm.
because these restaurants are extending outside the US.
Right. And I just thought of something to backtrack a little bit. There's only one
Mhm.
thing that I can think of that I would invest in if I had the opportunity to, that I know that it would rise in price, and that's Jordans. But I'm not risking my life to go out there and get a pair. That's the one thing I know that is a guarantee to rise in price if you don't use them.
And I'm gonna tell you something about that. And this is true. This just happened. Well, this happened during COVID. Um, a group. Well, we were on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't leave the house. You had to stay in place. The stimulus, that $1,200
Mm-hmm.
came out, and when the governor um, stopped the stay in place, right for $1,200 per person, stopped it, so everybody could go out there and shop. The hair salons, all this catering to it just catered. It fell into a group where you weren't going to sit on that $1,200.
Right.
You're going to be able to spend that $1,200. Well, the malls were open as well, were able to open up, and that was the first day the new Jordans came out. During that time,
Mm-hmm.
there were lines of people out of the store waiting to get Jordans during the pandemic.
Yeah, I believe it.
You absolutely right. They risk their lives for a pair of Jordans.
Right. I believe it. And those are the only that's one of the few materialistic things that I know has a guarantee to have a return on your investment as long as you don't wear them. As long as you don't wear
I,
them. They
but
have a
they're gonna wear. But
right.
man, the risk of your life for a pair of sneakers.
If you're a
I,
sneakerhead, I mean that might be a necessity for a sneakerhead. You know, they got to have the newest shoes, but that was the one thing I know for a
well, they'll
fact.
put them on you. You know, they'll have them on you when you're in the casket when they're lowering it.
I guess. I guess.
No, you
Look,
know what?
it wouldn't be
You
me.
know what they do is take a picture of it, throw the picture in and keep the shoes and sell it later down the line. I guess
Probably.
whatever.
Probably. But like I said, that's the one thing I know
But
that is guaranteed to be a return on your investment.
but you see the strong hold that influence has on people to the point where they will risk their lives for a product
Yeah.
that they don't. You will live without those shoes.
But you can also
You will
be
make it.
you can also be very rich with those shoes, depending on how you look at it.
Well,
Especially
not if you're dead.
you might not be dead. I'm just saying, if you have a way of obtaining them without, putting yourself in danger, then you may end up being a very rich person. Especially just like the Kobe's, if
Mhm.
MJ was to pass or something was to happen to him, the price of the shoes would go up even higher because they know there would be no more Jordans being made. So it's just like you thinking about the long term, depending on who you are. I mean, like I said,
Depending on who you are.
if you're a sneakerhead, you might just get them just to be like, yeah, I got the newest Jordans for that,
That's what
that
usually
belonging or
what I
whatever. Yeah.
because I usually see people wearing them, and I don't usually
Yeah.
see them, sitting in somebody's closet. They
Mhm.
usually have them on, so
I think a lot of athletes are usually the ones that buy them and just sit on them
it's set on.
because
Right,
they
right.
have
So,
disposable income. So they just like, yeah, I have all the Jordans from the beginning all the way to current, and they're just like, what are you gonna do with all these shoes? Uh,
well, who wears size 20s? I mean, these guys got shit feet like that. But I get what you're saying. Um, but I just can't comprehend that logic of just and back in the day, I'm just you know adding on to this. Back in the day, people used to get killed, shot, robbed over jackets. The bomber jackets, the gazelles. We used to have gazelles. I don't know if you even remember that. Gazelles, Kangos, and people used to be robbed and killed over that stuff. It Jordans as well, the new Jordans. Somebody robbing, and people will say, "Oh, I'm not going to give up my Jordan. You're going to have to kill me to get them," and
Of
they
course.
do that, and they do it.
Of course. I mean that's
This
that's the typical response from anybody that has a pair of shorts. Just like you have to kill me as much money as I spent on these shoes. So it's just odd. Like I said, that I think a lot of it is because most of them may not know how to invest into other things. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of them that maybe
If you got it in your closet, nobody could rob you, right?
no, they can still
If
rob
it's
you.
in your closet, well, if they don't
That's why
know you got
That's
it
why
in
you
your
get that product
closet,
placement for that security. You get that new security feature. Let's lock it down.
I want you to answer this question, Ty.
Uh huh.
Answer it for me, and then we'll move on. What other group does that?
There is none.
Okay.
There, like,
Okay. I just want to make sure.
the only group that I think of, and it may be stereotyping, but the only other group I can think of that does something like that would be like the people that live in Dubai and stuff like that. They get all the cars and they have cars out the wazoo. They just collect the cars
Right.
because they have money to
Right.
spend like that. That's the only other thing I can think of. Outside of that, it's just Jordans, and then that's our community. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's other people outside the community that invest in Jordans and things like that, but majority of it
Right.
is our community.
But the kill over it.
Yeah,
What other group?
there isn't one.
Uh,
There isn't one.
it is sad. I just wanted to. Maybe I didn't know something. I just wanted to
Yeah,
check.
no. I
But
mean
no,
that's as far as from what I've seen in my lifetime. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing that has been prominent amongst like people I've hung out with, people I've talked about. They will always at one point mention something about shoes that are coming out, whether it be Jordans, Kobe's, whatever. It's I don't know what it is. It's just I guess because I may be attributed to the commercials. I mean, the commercials are getting a lot better than what they were back then. I mean, commercials that
see those type commercials. Unless I guess on a
yeah,
sporting event or something like that.
just
So
just like remember in the I'll give you a prime example. The halftime show with Budweiser when they had the toads, the
right,
Budweiser. Everybody remembers
right,
that. Or the What's Up.
right.
They do stuff like that where people remember they're gonna go out and buy it. It's like, oh, because I'm cool now. So so you can't,
Yeah.
if they make commercials that are good, like they started making commercials that are getting better over time. Like Nike, I think the very first one I remember from Nike was was their response to, I don't know if you remember
And one.
and one basketball when they were starting to have their come up. When Nike did the do, 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 when everybody was dribbling the ball and stuff, and they were making all the noise. You don't
Oh, the
remember?
noise.
Yeah.
I probably vaguely remember that. Yeah. I mean, I thought "Just Do It" was the next. I guess after that, right?
That might have been a little bit before.
Before. Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
just trying to remember like the first commercial I remember vividly was that one, was the response to and one.
Response.
Yeah.
So that made you want That made you want to get Nikes.
No, I just thought it was cool. I mean, like I said, I'm different. I'm just like, oh, that's a cool commercial. I'm not gonna go out and buy it. And it's like, oh, that's neat. That's a neat little commercial. Because it's not something that is in my wheelhouse, per se, as far as like something that would interest me. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that are like, they see like the Under Armour commercials, go out and buy a pair of Under Armour. I mean, like
Right.
I look at it depending on what I buy.
I
For
look at
necessity.
price.
That too. I buy for I buy for necessity. If I'm going to the gym or something, yeah, I'm gonna get compression shorts. Yeah, I want to feel comfortable. I'm not sitting here trying to like just be all out in the wind and everything. So it's the commercials really don't have that much of that much of an effect on me.
Have you ever had a commercial that prompted you to purchase something? A commercial.
A commercial?
that prompted you to purchase something? I really can't recall personally.
Um, after
Maybe a
seeing
video game.
that'd probably be the only thing I think of. But that was
Okay.
when I was younger. I mean, of course, I'm a
Uh,
kid at that point. I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna want it.
yeah,
So I
that's
mean,
where the market targets too,
yeah.
is kids.
So I think it was probably what the I'm pretty sure I can go back and ask. It was probably like Super Nintendo or something like that. I don't
Okay.
really have a whole lot of memories of seeing the older commercials, but I guarantee
Right.
you, if it was like something I saw for a game, I probably wanted it.
Okay. Okay. Now, for me, that doesn't. I don't think it works on me now to see something on TV and that prompts me to purchase.
Mm,
Uh, so I think I'm out of the market of advertisement now. It's a younger generation. I think they even go to, as long as the kid can hear it, it's good. On up to. I just don't think it works on the older generation like it would probably work on you.
I mean, there's some like for instance, I know like QVC and HSN. That's a big thing amongst the people in your generation. And you're just like, oh, that's neat. Let me get this. It may not have any
Yeah.
relevance. May not have
That's
any
right. That's right.
relevance
It
whatsoever.
just piles up a bunch of boxes in the house. You go to.
It may not have any relevance whatsoever, but it's just like it's technology.
Well,
It's
they
good.
collected stuff for Christmas. Future Christmases to get hand out to other people. I guess, but yeah, good point. I forgot about that because I do know people who purchase
Yeah, and
off of those.
just like
Yeah,
when my generation will get older, we'll start looking at lawn care stuff, like
yeah,
lawn care and stuff like that. Yeah, I know
that's
how
right.
the cycle goes. I know how the cycle goes. Right now, it's more like fashion, and then in about 20 years, we'll be looking at lawn care and the knickknacks and things like that, like a new blender or something, whatever. But right now,
I can see that. I can see that.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's not a whole
it's
lot.
hmm, interesting. No, I get it. I get it.
But yeah, as far as but yeah, commercials, I look at it, it's like, oh, that's neat. That's neat. Most of the time, the only time I really look at commercials is the halftime of the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the only
Okay.
time I
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
commercials
Same here.
because isn't that something
Same
I can
here.
talk about with my friends? It's like, oh, did you see that commercial? Like, oh, that was cool. What was
That's
that?
right.
I'm not
That's
gonna go
right.
out and buy anything, but yeah.
Yeah. When you see people purchase products and services and don't really need it,
Mm,
something is prompting them to do so.
right.
So with QVC or anything, any other entity that you purchase stuff, um, I think a lot of time it's convenience. It's easy now to do it because it comes right to your door. You can
Right.
do it. It's delivered.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to go anywhere. You don't
You
have
don't
to
have to
go
go.
anywhere, interact with anyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But um as far as I mean, the portion and this goes back to what I was saying earlier as far as the like marketing for Instagram. I don't feel bad for someone trying to get their hustle on because at the end of the day, it's up to the person buying from the person getting their hustle on to do the research
That's
for
right.
what they're
That's right.
buying. So
Absolutely.
I can't feel any kind of way as far as feeling bad. I don't.
Right.
I'm gonna just I don't feel bad. It's just like, oh yeah, they got swindled. I mean, don't get me wrong. If it's an elderly person, they don't
Oh,
somebody getting
absolutely.
taken
That's
advantage
right.
of, that's a totally different thing. But I'm saying if you're comprehensive, you're in that age bracket, you can understand what's going on, then
Yes.
I don't feel sorry for you because you're supposed to you have to do it. You have to do some of the legwork to understand what you're getting yourself into. It's
That's right. It's up to you to do your homework. And don't make excuses for not being swindled. Don't make excuses. You dropped the ball. You didn't do what you were supposed to do.
right.
You got caught. and it's no way around that.
Yeah,
So
you'll get the world's tiniest violin playing from me. Just you'll get that. I mean, outside of that, but yeah, once again, if it's somebody that is like elderly or somebody that doesn't again can't comprehend, then yeah, then there's a problem because then you're preying upon somebody that's not in their right mind. But if you can understand what's going on and you have the resources to look up the stuff yourself and you don't do it, I mean,
um, well, I agree, but when it comes to food,
mhm.
they use trickery when it comes to things they put in food.
Yeah,
And it works on all of us.
of course.
I'm not going to be the one to sit there and go over every ingredient that's in a can of soup,
Right.
even though it might be some bad stuff in there. But they'll put what they think you want to see,
Mm,
and I base it on that. Is it though healthy?
right.
No, no GMOs, things like that, gluten free.
Mhm.
But everything else is bad as well.
Right. The way I look at that is just like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's
So
right.
it doesn't it doesn't matter what I'm trying to do. At the end of the day, I'm going to eat something that's not healthy for me. So why am I stressing
Well,
about?
gotta be green leafy
Let me just go
vegetables
outside and eat a
and
blade of
fruits.
grass. Then let me just do that. Even though the blade of grass might not be healthy for me because of the chemicals they
Well,
put
the
on it.
pesticide, right? The pesticides. But it's something that is out there, and you can be manipulated by product
Right.
because the ingredients are not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And who's going to sit and look at that? Who's going to sit and take the time to look for each product and the ingredients in it? And
No
if
one,
that,
because no one wants to
if,
take the time to be around all those people for shopping. I know I get irritated when I'm shopping. I don't know about anybody else. I'm not trying to be around people for more than like, if I'm shopping, more than like 15 minutes. I'm trying to get in and get out. I don't need people hovering over me, trying to reach around me and stuff. Like, no, back up.
well, you just keep. Come on, Tag. I mean, they got a shop too.
I
It's
understand
just,
that, but it's just like when you're in the aisleway and they sit there in front of where you're trying to go,
oh
like
yeah,
if
yeah.
they're and then you sitting there and you sitting there,
And
you like
me,
you trying to be courteous, but you want to like kick
right?
their buggy out the way.
Yeah, I usually move. If somebody needs to get there and I hadn't decided yet, I just move. I
Yeah,
move. I'll come back. I'll come
but
back
some
later.
people aren't
But
like that. They'll just sit there. They'll sit there and keep
that's
looking, and you're looking at
that's right.
them. And I know you see me looking at you, but you're not gonna move. Okay, okay.
But you can't get violent, man.
I'm not gonna. I
Try to
don't get violent. I'm
try
just
to
like
get
okay,
groceries, man. Try to get.
it's okay. No one gets violent. I'm just like all
Oh,
right.
move on, right? Just go around, tell them have a nice day.
I don't say anything to him. I'm just like, all right. In my mind, I'm just okay.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. The products they have out there, and uh, scary part about it is most of it's bad. Got some chemicals or some additives or preservatives in it that's not good for you.
Right.
And you limit it to what you can do unless you grow it yourself.
Right. But even
And,
then, it's probably still not good
and,
for you because you got to deal with the pests and everything else that's out there.
and yeah, that's true. That's true. So, um, some people say just pray over it. Pray over your food, but no, it's more than that. I don't know. I don't know a solution to it, other than just try to eat as healthy as you possibly can. Look at the ingredients. Try to do preliminary stuff before you go to the grocery store. Do your homework. You might not just and don't. Yeah, and that helps too. If you have an idea of what you want before you get there, it saves a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be around people,
Well, I mean,
and you can
if
do
you,
your homework.
I mean,
You can do your
you
homework.
have the list, but you go in there and people are still sitting there. You know what you want, but it's still sitting there in your way. I hear you.
Right, right. So but doing your homework, you can limit how many bad things you do get, and how much of it you take in.
Right, but
That's
nobody's really trying to take another university course on what they can and can't eat because that. I mean, who's going to want to go back to studying 8 hours a day trying to discern what's good for them and what's not?
well, once you do the research, you don't have to do it again because you got it
That
right
means you
there.
got a
You got
notebook. That means you study. You basically studying for a test at that point. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that.
so you don't want to prevent future health problems
I look at it
that
this.
you might be creating for
I
yourself.
look at it this way: if I'm working out, drinking water, drinking the amount of water I'm supposed to drink a day, and not taking a whole bunch of salt, salt intake and limiting my sweets, I'm fine. That's what I look at: sweets and salt intake, and drinking water.
Don't listen to Tax nutritional plan. I mean, it's not bad what you're saying, but it, it's it it's people out there that need to take more time
Mm.
because they're buying things with high sugar, high salt, sodium, and this is, I mean, they're consuming this in every level all the time at a high level,
Mm.
and it's definitely is going to affect your health. Now, with some research, you can limit that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to talk
No,
about is
I hear
limiting
you.
that.
I hear you. Trust me, I do. I hear you. But I'm not going to
You
sit
say
here.
drink water, and exercise, and you're fine. No,
No, I
no, you
said
need to
drink
do a little bit
water,
more.
limit your salt and sugar intakes, and you're good.
Right.
Because
But that takes,
I'm not gonna sit here and give up fruit that has the fruit has sugar in it.
yeah, it's
Wait,
natural sugar though. It's natural sugar.
I understand that, but it's still sugar. So I'm not gonna sit here and worry about oh, fruit has 8 grams of natural sugar in it. Oh, it has sugar. I can't eat that. Oh, sorry. No. Turkey. No. No.
But it's different types of sugar.
I understand
That
that, but
that sugar the body can handle. Natural sugar body can handle and get rid of it. But it's that manufactured sugar that
mhm.
you know that's the sugar that the body can't deal with, and so it stores it as fat.
Right. And as long as you're drinking water, working out, and limiting your salt and sugar intakes, you're fine. It goes back to what I stated originally.
Cat health and wellness seminar.
Do your little like 30 to 45 minute workout, walking,
Right.
just walk or something. Do something for a
Yes,
little bit.
moving.
Move a little bit, get your blood flowing, limit your sugar intake, drink a bunch of water. Try to drink like one of those decent sized water bottles a day. I would say a gallon, but that's what I used to do way back when I was way back when I was playing football. I wouldn't recommend a gallon of water a day to anybody. Um, but if you can get to a gallon, by all means, go for it. But
Right. But too much water can be bad for you as well.
right,
But yeah, yes. But the thing is, now also you have means of researching. You can look at it. You can see the right amount of water, fruit, it's sugar. So let's get your baseline. What's the average that you should have intake, and plan your food accordingly.
yes. So don't go out and buy all this other. Exactly. You see that? You don't have to sit there and study for an exam when you just can do the entry and just know where your baseline is. Just work on that and then go up to your graduate course or whatever you want to do.
Right. But because we're here provide, and we want people to think about this stuff. You don't want to just run around in the world without taking time to think of what you're doing. You know, take a minute, think about this stuff. That's why our topics are the way they are. It gives you an opportunity to think about things that you probably just don't even think about.
Mhm.
Really, I mean, you just I got to go shopping. I just shop. I just purchase. If I want this or if I need this, I get it. I get it. Not thinking about cost, how it's going to affect you economically
Mhm.
or physically or your health or anything. And that's why we talk about these topics because we need to think about these things.
Right. And you said something key, buying something based off your income. And I think
Mhm.
a lot of people may go beyond their means to get, certain products, but if you stay within your means, you end up being okay, depending on what you get, of course. Uh, but once you have enough money to get that product that you want, the reward is a lot better compared to just buying it and then being on the back, be reeling at that point because you have it and you didn't need it compared to needing it and not having it. So,
It's like buying a car, a very expensive car, not thinking about maintenance.
right.
That is a major part of a car. I see cars here in Atlanta. They're nice cars. They were nice cars at one time, but the person can't maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
So, they got a busted headlight, the mirror falling off, they got a donut on the car. You know, yeah, you could afford the car, but you got to be able to afford the oil change,
Right.
tire rotation, new tires. Yeah, it's a lot more to a car than just putting gas in.
Now, if you want to go back to doing a study, I would recommend studying to learn how to change your own oil and tire change and stuff like that because you'll save yourself some money doing
Money.
it that way instead of trying to learn nutritional values for every single thing that you're going to buy in the store. But
You're going to spend money and do the research on a car. This engine is the engine that matters.
but
I can always
you
replace the
can
car,
you can
but I can't
feed
replace
you
my
can
body.
feed this engine with the money that you save from what you studied to do on your car. So there you go. Because I know
Okay.
oil changes and tire rotations. Well, what 150?
Right, right. But I mean,
And
routine
you're waiting
maintenance.
there and you're waiting there
Yeah,
for
yeah.
2 hours.
Time.
Yeah,
That's when you go do your exercise and drink your
how you gonna
water.
do the exercise when you don't have a car? Like, you're gonna do
Yeah, you're gonna run down the street, come back, and while the car get right.
nobody's taking their car to a car shop with their workout stuff on. Most of the time people are just going there to get their stuff done on a Saturday so they can go back home and enjoy their unhealthy
Just a
eating or whatever.
suggestion. Just a suggestion. Just, but yeah, not looking at the cost after the purchase. It's unseen cost. You can't just look at the product. Now, like you say, people are buying things they can't afford. You buy a $3,000 purse, but next thing you know, your light's about to be turned off.
Right.
You got to. What's more important? You know, and then I want to state another thing that's very, very. It bothers me, and I can't seem to. Maybe you know the answer, Tat. We go in the stores treated like criminals and and treated poorly and come back and purchase from the same store again. Beauty supply stores. It's not owned by people who look like me and you, and they treat you like a criminal. They
Convenience.
watching you the whole time and all that. I'm pretty sure that happens in the malls. We just can't see it,
Mm-hmm.
and we continue to shop there.
Convenience.
We need to flex our financial power better than we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I owned a business and I treated somebody poorly, they'll stop coming to me. They'll say, "No, I'm not going to
If
him
you're
no
the
more."
if you're
And
the
I'm the
owner,
owner.
if
Yeah,
you're
I'm
no
the
no no no
owner.
no no, if you're the only convenience, like if you're a convenience, like you're the only person there, they're gonna come back to see you. They're not. A lot of people aren't gonna go out their way to go somewhere else when that thing is right there for them to get. That's how a lot of people see it. It's like you can be treated like the scum of the earth, but if that place right there has what you need, you're not going to sit there. A lot of people aren't going to sit there and waste their time driving a town over to go
Once in
shopping
a while, they'll do that.
once in a while,
Once in a
but it'll
while,
get
they'll do.
old real quick when they have to drive 30, 45 minutes there and back to get
Right,
something
right.
that they could
They
have
try
walked
to
right
keep the
across.
miles off of that nice car they got.
Exactly. Where they could just walk right across the street and go buy from the store, even though it
That's right.
may, they may not be treated the best. That's
That's
all it
right.
is.
That's right.
That's all it is. So if there was more
Yeah,
stores that were available to them, I mean, they can do online shopping now, but a lot of people don't like doing online shopping for whatever reason. I mean, they not a lot, but
I
they
think
have
they
their
get
they have
used
their
to it
reasons.
now. Right,
Yeah.
right. I'm, I was skeptical about it at first,
Hmm.
but I'm becoming more and more comfortable with it because, I just didn't know if I was going to get what I ordered
Right.
or if it would be here when I got off from work or somebody already picked it up for me
Hmm.
and using it that they didn't pay for,
Hmm.
so, but now I'm getting more comfortable with it. So
Yeah, and I think a lot of people and businesses are starting to see that, but not necessarily all the bad businesses, but good ones as well. They're
that's
starting
right.
to lose the fact that they were there for the people, but now people have that accessibility to get whatever they want when they want it delivered to them without having to talk or
I
speak to
bet
go anywhere. So
that's right. That's right.
that's
So,
all it is. Once that convenience was there for someone else, it pretty much set the tone for it, set the downfall for a lot of other places. So that's all it is. That's literally all
right.
it
That's
is.
right.
Because they're not gonna do that 45-minute drive. You may be a stand-up citizen and go do that, but you're gonna eventually it's gonna wear on you because you're not gonna wake up on a Saturday. You're not gonna want to do anything, but then you're like, I can go to the store here, or I can go 30, 45 minutes, go to this other store that has what I need. I don't feel like going
It's
anywhere.
go
I'm just gonna go to
online.
the store. I'm just gonna go to the store.
Right, right, right. But the thing is, we got to realize we do have that power.
Mhm.
Um, our dollar can talk if we use it,
Right. 100%.
and demand that respect, but we don't. We don't.
Yeah. I mean, because
No.
it ends up being a lot of other issues that can potentially be blown out of proportion, and I think with everything that has went on, a lot of people are just trying to, or a lot of people are over it, like over all the drama and everything like that. So they just try to avoid it when they can. At least that's how I'm looking at it. People are just over it. Just wears on
Yeah, it
you.
is. Yeah, it wears on you, and it's showing its effects on everybody. The whole culture, the whole way of life has changed now since
Right.
all this been going on. So, but some of it's good, some of it's not so good. But we'll see how it all plays out.
Exactly. But in the meantime, let us know what your product that you had to have you needed. You had to have it, even though once you got a little bit older, you realized you didn't need it in the comments below. But that's gonna be it.
Please,
That's gonna be it for us. I think next week do we have some guests coming on? Is it next week or the week after?
I think it's next week, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think it's next week.
yeah, we'll have
So
some guests on for you all, and it'll be pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. We just wanted to get this one out there. I mean, make sure you share it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff that everybody tends to say. Uh,
one question I want to leave to everybody who listens, and if they could put it in comment, what do you think we could do to flex our purchasing power as a people. If you could give us some of your ideas, leave that as well. It's bothering me, and I would like to things. I have my own ideas, and I'm curious to see what's out there as well. So,
I mean, I already have an answer, but
yeah,
it's the
but put it in the comments.
I already have an answer, and that's gonna be the one. That's gonna be the main thing. But yeah, I'll see if somebody else puts it in the comments. But yeah, we'll see you all next week. Like I said, I think we have some guests here, but until then, y'all take care. Um, and have a great rest of your week. All right, we're out of here.
All right. Got it.